Go ahead and have a seat in Swastikasana, please. Feet under the knees. Relax and release the back waist, buttock flush down. For today, bring yourself sitting upright and feel that. You can release the legs, relax the legs. As the buttock descends, observe how the frontal hip bones will have a sense of rising up to some degree. Keep the abdomen relaxed and soft. Breathe into the side ribs, and then be aware of where your shoulders are. A lot of us tend to sit a little forward. There's a few people who will sit a little back. I want you to kind of feel how the corners of the shoulders are in line with the hips and how your ear holes are in line with the corners of the shoulders. This is important for shoulder work. So then look straight forward. Soften the face and close the eyes here. Bring the breath in and out of the nose. And continue to feel how you have placed the skeleton upright with precision. And in doing so, observe how then the skin, the muscles, have a greater sense of letting go. Soften the eyes. And encourage the eyes themselves to draw back towards the back of the brain. I'm going to start by reading something today out of the Upanishads. It says, "It's not the speech we should want to know. We should know the speaker. It is not things seen which we should want to know. We should know the seer. It is not the sounds we should want to know. We should know the hearer. It is not mind which we should want to know. We should know the thinker. When the five senses and the mind are still, and reason itself rests in silence, then begins the path supreme. This calm steadiness of the senses is called yoga. And then bring the palms together. Maintain that state of lifted awareness. And join me for the sound of Om. With your exhale, release the head down towards the lifted chest and surrender completely there towards that space within you. Release the hands with the palms up. Bring the head up with closed eyes. And gently open the eyes. We're going to start today standing in Tadasana. So go ahead and set your things aside and join me in the center of the mat. So as you lift the knees and the thighs, move back, descend the buttock to the heels, and work to bring in that fine balance in the sole of the foot so that the mounts of the foot are broad and the heel is reached back and deliberately placed so that the weight of the body works to remain even in all parts of the foot. Feel how the hip bones are over your ankles. Arrange your shoulders to be over the hips and bring the ear holes in line with the shoulders, palms and forearms facing you. Now we're going to begin with Vriksasana, tree pose. So you can bring the left hand to the waist, lift the right leg up, and place the heel at the left inner groin. Those of you who are in class with me on the screen today, you've all been in class at least once this week, I believe. So we're following that work that we've done earlier this week a little bit more deeply into a different type of pose. So when you get here, bend the standing leg for a minute, please, and feel how the buttock flesh descends down. If balance is a problem, just go ahead and put your hand against a wall so it's not. That would be your left hand. You'll want to throw the wall. Descend the buttock, maintain that descent as you lift through the left leg, left kneecap, and firm the outer left hip in. Palms come to the chest. Feel how thanks to working through the left leg, the tailbone is drawn inward. Then you can separate the hands if necessary. Lift out of the waist and continue that division, particularly in the back body. Back waist opening up from bottom to top. Buttock down, side ribs, back ribs up. And then bring all that back to Tadasana. Utthita Trikonasana to the right side. Inhale, jump. I know we've only done one side of Vriksasana. Turn the legs. Press into the outer left heel, mound to the right big toe. Lift and expand the arms from there. Come on out over the right leg for triangle. Outer left heel, mound to the right big toe. Now feel how you have to work again in the same way. Move the buttock away from the lower back as you press into the left outer heel, mound to the right big toe. So similar conditions should apply, meaning as the buttock rolls away from you, feel how the frontal hip bones have a subtle sense of lifting towards the chest. Align your right outer hip in line with your, outer left hip in line with your left ankle, left shoulder in line with the left hip, left ear hole in line with the left shoulder, and lengthen. Shoulder blades away from the ears. Inhale, lift from the left arm, come up. Turn the feet forward. Jump. Tadasana. Vriksasana again one more time to the right. You can bend the left leg for a moment to get the descent to the buttock and the descent to the right frontal groin. But as you lift through that leg, feel how the firmness, the gathering of the outer gluteals comes to the midline. Then lift up. Find how that effort and the surrender marry one another together here to build that vital lift of prana all the way from the floor through the frontal spine and then palms to the heart. Tadasana. Left side. Vriksasana. So initially, when the hands come to the waist, bend the right leg, descend the buttock. Keep it flowing downward as you straighten your standing leg. Then hands together. Turn the upper arms out more and more. then lift up, lift and lengthen. So ask yourself, even here, are your hips in line with your right heel, right ankle? How about the shoulders and the ear holes? And hands to the heart, Tadasana. Triangle pose on the left. Inhale, jump. And turn the legs. So before we ever come into the pose, consider this this right side. Ankle and hip, are they actually in line? Work to make that so. Shoulder and ear hole as well. It's like connecting the dots, right? Triangle. Come on in. Uttita Trikonasana. For now, just keep the hand above the ankle. Work with that back leg, the right leg, ankle, hip, shoulder, ear hole. Feel how the pelvis is arranged in such a way that both frontal hip bones have a sense of lifting towards the chest. And then with that, turn the shoulder blades down the back. Upper arms turning out so that the upper back is stamped in. Please do not start with turning your head just yet. We're going to get there. Look forward. Then inhale, come up. Exhale, jump. One more time, Vriksasana on the left side. Buttock descends. Catch that. So this frontal groin also descends. And lengthen up. Open through the outer armpits. Turn the outer upper arms forward. And then release back to Tadasana. Shoulders away from the ears. Then, with your inhale, jump for Parsvakonasana. Turn the legs to the right. Exhale, bend the right leg and bring the right hand down. Left arm up. Turn the left palm, lift it up again, and extend that left arm overhead. Now, outer left heel down, roll the right knee back into the right arm and think about how Vriksasana felt. Stand in both heel bones and lengthen. The right side of the body lengthens and turn the chest to the left. Now, from here, with an inhale, you're going to begin to lift through your right knee. Lift from the outer knee into that outer right hip and slowly bring your left arm overhead. Triangle pose. Now, outer left heel down, mound of the right big toe down, tailbone in. So now, again, lengthen through the right side waist. Exhale, turn the chest to the left. Engage more and more through the legs, inviting the energy of the prana to give you ease in forming the pose. Then, lift from that left arm, come up. Turn the legs forward. Change sides. Bring the left leg, bring the left hand down. Right arm lifts up first. Pull up with that arm. Feel how that helps that outer right heel come down. Then turn, lift again, and exhale. Take that arm overhead. Press the left knee into the left arm and arrange the pelvis properly. Stand in both heel bones so the left side waist can gain a little bit of space. Exhale, turn the chest to the right. Now continue to stand in the heel bones as you turn. But now we're going to transition. So as we do, mound to the left big toe presses, lift through the left leg, and begin to find Uttita Trikonasana. Lengthen the left side body and exhale, turn the chest to the right. Shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, lift from that arm and come on up. Take a breath, and with your exhale, jump. Padmasana. Inhale, jump. Feet under the hands. Bring your hands to your waist and turn the upper arm bones out. Now, spread the mounds of the foot so the outer ankles confirm in, inner ankles draw up to the inner leg. Observe how that feeds this gathering of the outer buttocks so the tailbone is in. And that fosters this proper alignment of the frontal hip bones having a sense of flowing upward. Now, catch that in the side ribs and turn the upper arms out, I should say. Shoulders away from the ears. So that doesn't mean yank your elbows back. That will cause a hardening up here in the neck. Just turn the upper arms. You see, I'm not trying to get there. I'm trying to keep width. Now then, we're going to turn our feet to the right for Virabhadrasana 1. So turn that back foot in as much as possible. Press the outer left heel down so the inner left leg lifts up. Then, maintaining that, exhale, turn your chest to face in the direction of your right foot. Keep that left heel pressing, keep the chest turning, and turn the upper arm bones out. Now, as you do this, outer left hip should firm in, inner upper left knee should move back. Find how then, as you press the back heel, that lift of the frontal hip points is encouraged, is fostered, is present, maybe is the better word. Now take the arms out and expand wide through the arms, but keep that left heel. Turn the palms, turn the upper arms, inhale, lift those arms up and out of the waist, turn the chest. Now as you exhale, bend the right leg and flow the right buttock bone towards the back of the right knee, bend to a full square. Then exhale again, turn the chest to face in the direction of your right foot. Now inhale, lift to standing, hands back to the waist. Now press the left heel, keep the chest pulling forward, and exhale, come forward, left hand to the ground. You can step the back foot in a little bit and cross over your front right foot if possible. Press the left heel and Parivrita Trikonasana. Press the left heel, tailbone in. Firm the outer left hip in, and as you lengthen the right side waist, hug those thick back right ribs in and down towards the ground. Inhale, lead with that left arm, come up and turn forward. I didn't say anything about lifting the top arm. Get the distance between your feet. Bring the hands to your waist and turn to the left. Outer right heel is down. Turn your chest directly in the direction of your left foot. Turn the upper arm bones, but keep pressing that outer left heel. So that is sort of the teeter-totter that we're working on. As soon as I press that left heel, the chest wants to turn to you guys. So I press the left heel and I turn my chest to the left. Take the arms wide, turn the palms, turn the upper arms. Now inhale, lift up and pull way up out of the waist. So the buttock descends to that left heel. Now turn the chest to your left. Now maintaining that back leg, exhale, bend the left leg. Flow the left buttock bone to the back of the left knee. But that outer left heel is down, or outer right heel is down, and you turn the chest to your left. Now inhale, lift straight up to standing. And now as you exhale, take the right hand to the floor. You can step the back right foot in a little. Cross the front leg if possible. Firm the outer right hip in and lengthen the side right waist. And turn the chest to the left. Thick back, right ribs firm in and float down. Step into that back left heel. Turn. Then you're going to lead with your right hand. Inhale, bring it over your right ankle and come up. Fingertips together. Exhale, jump, Tadasana. Inhale, jump. Turn the palms. Turn the upper arms, lift up. Now, feel how, as you lift your arms, you can take the shoulder blades away from the ears and in towards your upper back. Those shoulder blades stamp in. But in the same way, thanks to the tailbone being in, those thick back ribs stamp in. Turn to your right. Outer left heel down, turn. Tailbone in. Bend. Virabhadrasana 1. Bend. Press both heels down, but especially that left heel. Turn. Now, bring the hands behind your back. Interlock the fingers and turn the upper arm bones out. Turn your chest to face your right foot so that you ignite those thick back left ribs. Hey, bend your knee. Now, take a breath. And with your exhale, straighten the front leg. Bring the left hand down. You can shorten your stance. We're going right back to Parivrtta Trikonasana. Lengthen the left side waist and exhale, turn. Lengthen the left side waist, outer right hip in, turn, and see that you get, again, awareness in those thick back left ribs. Now from there, shoulders away from the ears, take the right arm up, shoulders away from the ears, but stand in that back heel. Turn by pulling up through that right arm and stepping that back heel down. It's hard to talk and do. Now inhale, left hand over left ankle, come up. Widen the feet. Arms overhead. Connect to the shoulder blades and the thick back ribs. It's like there are 4 points that form an alliance on your back. Turn to the left. Come on, last one. Lift. Turn. Bend. Flow the left buttock bone to the left heel, but keep that back right heel awakened. Turn. Now take a breath. Okay, get those arms overhead. Lift up. Now with an exhale, you're going to transition. You're going to lift through the left leg, bring the right hand down, and you can shorten your stance. Now bring that right hand to the outer foot if possible. Lengthen the right side body and exhale. Turn those thick back ribs down. Firm the outer right hip in, mound to the right big toe as you press the left heel. Shoulders away from the ears. Now, reach the left arm up as you press that left heel down. Charge both of those limbs at the same time. And feel how that helps to move those thick back right ribs in and down towards the ground. Shoulders away from the ears. Now you're going to bring the right hand over the right ankle. Inhale, come on. Build your width. Exhale, jump. Tadasana. Feet hips distance. Arms up, inhale. Exhale, come forward. Soft Uttanasana, hold the elbows. Of course, maintain the lift of the legs. Change the crossing of your arms. Keep the kneecaps lifted and consider as you work here, are your hips over your ankles? Let the weight come forward in the foot so that you can answer yes to that. but release through the neck, shoulders, side ribs, low back. Then inhale, come up. Padmasana. Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, jump. Turn the legs to the right. Press the left heel. Feel that left hip. Left shoulder, left ear hole. You want to work to make that into a straight line. Now, what that means is your left leg has to stay responsible. It's the parent of the pose, right? So if you're a parent, imagine you're about to walk into an incredibly crowded street. You want to keep a hold of your child up here in the front, okay? Don't let them just go meandering wherever they want. Hey, extend the arms. Extend the arms from the center. Don't just hold your arms just straight. Expand. Now, take a breath. Virabhadrasana 2. Stay with the parent. Bring weight into your center, right heel, and roll that knee back as you step into the left heel. Shoulder blades down the back, both of them. Expand the arms. Bend. And allow the shoulder blades and those thick back ribs to form an alliance. Inhale, straighten the leg. Turn the feet forward. Expand across the arms. Turn the feet to the left. Imagine even your fingernails are going to grow longer. You're expanding so much. Now right heel down, ankle, right hip, right shoulder, right ear. That's the parent. Work to maintain that. Bend the left knee. And the left leg is like a child who's testing its boundaries. Bend, bear weight in the left heel, but keep the right outer heel down. Turn the chest forward. Yeah, left knee back, chest forward, and stand in the 2 heel bones. The low back should be at ease. Expand through the arms, and the shoulders and neck will also be at ease. Then pull with the right hand, straighten the left leg, turn the feet forward, hands to the waist. Roll the shoulders back, and now lengthen out of the side ribs in the same way as before. Exhale, come forward, fingertips on the floor under your shoulders. Now, spread through the mounds of the foot and ask yourself, are my outer hips in line with my outer ankles? Bring the weight forward in the foot to create that. And when you do, observe how the outer ankles confirm in and the inner ankles lift up, resulting in the tailbone in, resulting in a gentle lift in the abdominal region that is not contrived or forced. Now, from there, your side ribs, roll them forward and turn the upper arm bones out. Can you feel that the shoulder blades can move down the back and in, broadening the collarbones furthermore? Don't hang your head, but instead turn the uppermost part of your upper arm and pin the outer shoulder blades in. Now, good. You're going to walk from here to the right for Parsvottanasana. So turn your left foot in. Walk your hands over to your right foot and turn your right leg out. Shift the back foot so you kind of align heel to arch. Now fingertips on the ground. Exhale, bear weight in the back, left heel, mound of the right big toe. So, tailbones in. Now roll through the side ribs to broaden your collarbones with that short edge of your mat there in front of you. Use your legs to feed that lengthening energy in the side ribs, frontal spine. Come back to center, so quarter turn to the right. To the left. And then go to the other side. Turn your right foot in. Bear weight in the right heel, mound to the left big toes so that the outer hips compact, so that the buttock descends and the tailbone is in, so that as a result, the abdomen lifts Then inhale, roll the side ribs forward. Broaden the collarbones and bring a sense of ease into the brain. Now come back to center, so you're going to quarter turn to the right. Widen the legs a little bit. Rebuild here, same way. Lift through the knees, weight forward in the foot, so the whole foot bears weight evenly. Now exhale, walk the hands back between your feet and roll the side ribs forward again. Feel how that lift of the inner leg should increase. Then exhale, bend the elbows and take the crown of the head down for Prasarita Padottanasana. Breathe in and out through the nose. And observe here how you can even close the eyes and let the eyes themselves draw back towards the back of the brain. Roll the inner hand down to the ground and lift through the outer upper arms and shoulder blades. Keep the mouth and tongue soft. Then inhale, straighten the arms. Hands to the waist, inhale, come on up with the head last. Heel, toe, step or jump Tadasana. Good. Take the narrow edge of your mat to any wall. And we're going to take downward dog. But to do so, let's kind of all come in together. You're going to turn your thumb and index finger to touch the wall. But when you do that, make sure that your inner wrist is at least shoulder distance. Maybe a little more. Maybe a little more. So for me, when I do this, my fingers hang off. And if you have a full wall, for today, I want you to put the crown of the head on the wall. So that with that stability, crown of the head going to the wall, you all know where the crown of the head is. It's the pointy part back here towards the back, not this front part. So you want to roll the crown of the head to the wall, which helps take the shoulders away from the ears, shoulder blades down the back. Now at the same time, press the inner hand and pin the outer upper arms in. Now, turn your toes and begin to straighten your legs, but keep the crown of the head there. Press the inner hand and slowly push the wall away. Imagine my hands are under your forearms, because I don't want your forearms just to drop towards the floor. I want them to stay lifted, requiring you to lengthen out of the outer arms, outer armpits even. So that still the shoulder blades move onto the back and press towards the chest. Lengthen and open through the outer arms. And then bring your knees down, sit back on your heels, turn around. So that now you put the back of the heel against the wall. So this time when you do that, you can have your toes there at the wall, hands a little forward of you. But listen, turn your middle finger to point directly forward. And when you turn your upper arms out, bend your elbows a little, turn the upper arm bones out, and press the inner hand down. So now before you come into downward dog, press the inner hand and widen your upper shoulder blades. Feel that region at the base of the neck become spacious. Come on in. Keep that spaciousness, elongate through the outer arms. Press the heel bones back and into the wall, but keep that inner hand down and the forearms lifted. Shoulder blades on the back. Press the heel bones back and down. Keep the knees lifted. Release the neck. Good. Child's pose. Okay. Place the hands on the floor under the shoulders. Push the floor away and inhale. Come on up. Bring your mat back out to the middle of the room. And lie on the abdomen. So the work that we've been doing earlier in the week has been all about buttock to the heels, front thighs to back thighs, so that we get a hold of the tailbone and pin the tailbone in. And I mentioned in class last night that that is really, those actions are just required in order to begin to build happy back bends, okay? So I want you to feel that from here, you can walk your thighs back so that the frontal groin opens. Roll the back waistband to the heels. So it kind of feels like your buttock moves to the hamstrings and the hamstrings move to the buttock. There's a firmness in the outer buttock. Don't soften the buttock, it won't work. Now, as you do that and you reach the toes back, spread the top of the foot against the ground. Now, feel how that gets your kneecaps to lift, and that is thighs back, or in this case, up. Forehead down, hook your thumbs behind your back. Turn your upper arms out so the shoulders rise away from the ground. Now you have to get skillful. Double down on the effort of the buttock away from your back and the tailbone in. And then inhale, reach the arms back, lift the chest up. Remember those shoulder blades stamping onto the back, and let them begin to work with the thick back ribs moving in. It's like it's a coordinated team effort there on the back thick ribs and the shoulder blades. Each side has to do its role. And then release forward to come down. Forehead down, switch the crossing of your fingers or thumbs. Now again, lift the shoulders and inhale, straighten the arms and pull up. Breathe. Imagine I've got a block on your tailbone and I'm pushing down. Breathe and lift up. Then lengthen forward and come down. Place your hands under your forehead for now. Now, from there, keep the front thighs drawing back, buttock to the heels. Take the arms straight out to the sides, straight out from your shoulders, and just enough bend your elbows so you can put your fingertips on the ground. Your fingertips should look like a claw pressing down. If you have long fingernails, it's going to be difficult to do that. Now, I'm going to do this with my head down so you can actually see the actions. I'm sorry if it muffles my voice. I'm just not sure. So from there, press the fingers. Your arms bend a little, so your forearms, they kind of look down. But now turn the upper arm bone out and connect to the shoulder blades moving down the back. Use the press of the hands to help you. Inhale, lift the chest, come up. Tailbone in. Now use the press of the fingers to connect to those shoulder blades, but also to the thick back ribs. So if they push down and lift you a little, you can sort of feel those two pieces of the body working together, actually 4 pieces. Then reach straight out through the arms and lift. Expand wider and wider through the shoulder girdle. Coordinate both shoulder blades and both thick back ribs. Then exhale, release and come down. You can put the hands under your head, rest. So I always feel it these kind of back bends sort of feel truly like the snake is a serpent and the tailbone is the tip of the snake's tail. Actually, the tip of the snake's tail is way back in your big toes. But in other words, the tip of the tail or the tail of the snake is pinned, and the rest of the snake, being your spine, is trying to lengthen and move, right? So now take the arms forward, turn the upper arms, of course, to face the ground, bring your head down. Now from there, you hook your thumbs again. But it's still a finesse in your arms. Outer upper arms turn to the ground, but so do your inner forearms and hand. Then, with your inhale, lift the arms up. Elongate out of the armpit, tailbone down. Then lift your head up and arms higher than the head, but then head lifts. Try and use those shoulder blades, thick back ribs to draw the body up and away from the ground. Lengthen forward, come down. Change the hook of your thumbs. Exhale, and with your inhale, come up. And lift and lengthen further and more, and further and more. Don't worry so much about the height you get. Worry about the coordination of the shoulder blades, thick back ribs. And lengthen forward and come down. Hands and knees, downward dog. So use that downward dog to relieve any tension that may occur in the effort of Shalabhasana. Then you come back down onto the abdomen. You can do that by bringing your knees down and just coming down, or you can go through chaturanga. It's your choice. If you choose chaturanga, it's those same pieces that work on your back. Okay, now coming back down, lengthen the front thighs back yet again. Buttock to the hamstrings to the buttock. Have your palms by your sides, palms up, and inhale, lift the legs. Try and get your thighs to come up. Buttock away from the low back. Try and get those thighs up. Then inhale, lift the chest and the arms also come up. Shalabhasana, coordinate the back body. Lengthen forward, come down. Arms straight out to the sides. Be on your fingertips. Now roll the buttock out of the low back so the tailbone is in. But at the same time, press the top of the feet down so the thighs are lifted towards the ceiling. Now legs up. Lift the thighs more and more, and then use your hands for a coordinated effort to lift the chest, and then arms out to the sides. Lift up and coordinate the shoulder blades and those thick back ribs. Lengthen, come down. Reach the arms forward, lengthen the legs back. So have a sense of, by the way, I know when you lift the legs, many people feel that more in their lower back than when the legs are down, of course. So the work is lengthen those front thighs back. Try and open the frontal groin further and more. So in fact, you know what? Come up onto your forearms like this. It helps. Because feel how when you lengthen the front thighs back, you can pull with the forearms. So the front of the pelvis goes forward and the tailbone goes in. It's like Bhujangasana, and we're about to do Bhujangasana, but let's just use this action to get the length in the frontal body. Then pull with the forearm and lengthen the frontal body down. So you start with maximum space. Reach the arms, head down, hook your thumbs. Breathe. Then, with an exhale, lift the legs. Now coordinate and pin the tailbone. Then, inhale, lift the arms and the head and the chest. Lengthen in both directions. Exhale, come down, switch the hook of your thumbs. Exhale, lift the legs. Inhale, lift and lengthen the arms, the head, the chest. Lengthen in both directions. And exhale, come down. Hands and knees, downward dog. With your exhale, come to the ground in any way you choose. If you go through chaturanga, all those things have to be engaged. Now, come up onto the forearms, be on your mat. Forearms on the ground, elbows a little bit under the shoulders. But now coordinate so your front thighs are pulled back. Pull with your forearms and hands. Pull the hands and forearms toward you. So the frontal groin lengthens, but also so the pelvis can coordinate and the tailbone goes down. Then strengthen the legs. So what do I mean by that? Listen, your big toes. In fact, where the big toes touch, that's the tail of the snake. So pull the two inner big toes back like you're pulling the tail of the snake. Feel how that coordinates all the way to the tailbone. Pull the tail of the snake back, 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 and spread and press the top of the foot down. Do and repeat, and do and repeat, and do and repeat. And observe how it changes your pelvis, your low back, even the abdomen. Now, maintaining that, pull with the hands so the upper arm bones turn out, and begin to keep pulling the hands so that, thanks to the coordinated effort, shoulder blades, thick back ribs, the body can start to coil upward. Pull the tail of the snake and pull with your hands. Now to come down, lengthen the frontal body forward to come down. So the pubic plate stays on the ground. Beware of locking your elbows. Instead, constantly be looking to transform more, meaning bring your hands a little closer. If it's fairly tempting, right, to lock your elbows, begin again. Reach the tail of the snake back. Pull with the hands and start to come up again. So the pull of the hands and that little bend of the elbows turns the upper arm out. Pull and lift and pull and lift. Pull and lift, pull and lift. Tail of the snake. Lean, come forward, come down. Now, after doing that a couple times, assuming the low back is understandable, I want you to bring your hands under your shoulders, because who cares if the arms straighten, right? Because I'm actually telling you, I don't want you to straighten them all the way, but it's kind of like a spring. So when those hands are closer to you, it gives you a better spring upward. So now, pull the tail of the snake, tailbone in. Pull with the hands, keep that tailbone in and begin to coordinate. Roll the outer upper arms back. Pubic plate reaches down. Feel how those thick back ribs and shoulder blades coordinate. And by using the tail of the snake, suck that energy inward and upward. And lengthen forward, come down. So it happens in bits and pieces and in glimpses. But be aware of how, if you use your legs more, everything starts to come together. Now we're going to take that into upward facing dog. Now I'll say this, start with your feet together because it'll give you that effort of connectedness. But as you come up, if the feet separate, that's fine. Bring your hands under your side ribs, outer upper arms firm in, so the inner hand presses down. So the heel of the hand should be right at the top part of the waist. Now tail of the snake, reach and elongate. Roll the shoulders back and up and begin to lift. So you coil the upper back in. Now when you go to lift your hips up and your thighs up, keep the feet pressing and drag the hips towards the hands. Keep the coil of the upper back and lift the chest. Exhale, lengthen forward and down, and then take downward dog. Open the outer armpits as you press the inner hand. That's it. With an exhale, come to the ground. Okay. Watch for a second. So we've kind of touched on all those actions there in the upper back, but I'm going to ask you to take Makrasana, because Makrasana refines the work of the shoulder blades, I guess is the word that I could use, refining. Yeah, so watch. So, you know, all the same work, legs lengthen, da-da-da, tailbone in, all that. But when you take Makrasana, just watch. It's not that I lift super high, and I don't even care to lift super high at the moment. But when my elbows lift, it's so different than so many things that we learn, which is, you know, we learn these outer arms turn forward, and you lift from there, and that's correct, and that has to be increased to open this region. However, in Makrasana, I'm not saying to turn this part of your arm in or out. It's a different situation. And in fact, I never understood it until one of my teachers gave me a surprise adjustment. It was like, oh my gosh, he's going to tear my arms off. And instead, he drove home to me exactly what this pose does. So from the back, right, I interlock my fingers. I lift the elbows, but what we tend to do is resist that here. Or then sometimes we think, oh, those elbows have to turn forward and we lift that way. Both of those things are incorrect. Instead, it's not as physically explainable. You have to think of prana. So think of almost like a pulley that goes from that elbow to the bottom inner tip of that shoulder blade, and also on the other side, like a pulley. So if I lift, I want that pulley to connect into my upper back. You can see my right shoulder is the weird one. It doesn't want to go down, or at least that's how it feels. Pull into the upper back. So I'll tell you, the adjustment he gave me, and that doesn't mean I would do this to anyone necessarily. I'd want to see that certain things are happening. Your tailbone has to be in. If a student's tailbone is not in and you came up and did this to them, you'd hurt them. But what he did, imagine I'm laying on my chest, is he just grabbed my elbows and he lifted, and he lifted, and he lifted, and he lifted, and he lifted. And it teaches the upper back. So get your tailbone in and then do that. Let's go. And it's also one of those things that kind of requires you to be a little fearless and know that you can release your neck. The neck isn't doing it. So get the length of the legs, pull the tail of the snake back so the tailbone's in, and broaden the mounds of the foot on the floor. Interlock the fingers behind the head. The arms do their own work. It's not about the head pressing the hands. When the arms do the work properly, there's just a lift. So lift your elbows and connect from the outer elbow to the bottom shoulder blade. Exhale, and now inhale, come up. It's not that it's a huge lift, but imagine tailbone in, those elbows are being lifted up, lifted up, lifted up, and move those tips of the shoulder blades deeper and more, keeping the shoulders away from your ears. And then lengthen forward and come down, switch the crossing of your fingers. Tailbone in, inhale, lift the elbows only, shoulder blades on the back, next off. Now inhale, come up. Come up from the lift of those elbows. Drive that into the upper back, and you'll feel it's sort of like swimming, but it's like you're swimming with the gills of your arms, not with your arms. And lengthen forward and come down. Hands and knees, downward dog. Bring your knees down to the floor and sit on your heels for a moment, Vajrasana. So hopefully from these things, you can see what I mean by how required it is that the tailbone is in. And it doesn't mean you can't do these things if the tailbone isn't in. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. But, you know, everything's to a certain degree. So you just don't push. If the tailbone's not in, you'll feel it in your low back. Now, we're going to do upward dog with 2 tall bricks. So when I start that, I've taught this in class a lot. If I had my hands on the floor right under my shoulders and the knees on the floor right under my hips, I think this is about correct. That would be my distance. And it's going to feel really short when you put those tall bricks under where your hands are. But that's what I'm asking you to do. They go a little wider than shoulders distance. Then when you look forward, you bend the elbows and you turn those upper arms really deeply out. And the tailbone goes in and you're here. That way you can kind of work to massage that upper back in further and more. We're doing that. So go and get those tall bricks. Don't raise your knees up or not. No, 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 no. Follow class. We'll get there. Don't be in such a hurry. So now when you get here, because what are we working on? We're working on the neck, right? So from here, bend your elbows, bring your hips forward, look forward, make your chest point forward. Then the shoulders lift and turn out. So the shoulders lift to your ears, the upper arm bone turns out, and then the shoulder blades can go down the back. Press your inner hand, firm the outer arm in. You see my elbows are not in a big hurry to snap to straight. Instead, tailbone in and feel that hug of the shoulder blades towards the thick back ribs. Look forward, bend your elbows, and hug the thick back ribs towards the shoulder blades. Look forward, bend your elbows, turn the arms. So that, Clifford, your collarbone should widen, not deepen. The side body should lift more and more, like my hands are under your front armpits, lifting you up. And then release out of that. So continue to aim the effort in the upper back so that the front body can receive the work. I've been thinking a lot about abhyasa and viragya. Abhyasa means practice, viragya means non-attachment, is kind of the literal definition. But I've been thinking about that more in terms of discipline and kind of acceptance, I think is the word, or surrender. When we work so hard at doing physical things in the body, particularly when you have someone barking at you to do it, and admittedly, I'm barking at you to do it, because I want you to really get that thing we're working on. But when that happens, there's sort of a relationship that starts to happen and the brain hardens because you're getting barked at, because you're working so hard on that one thing that other things tense and harden up. And it's not that it's right or wrong. It just is. It's just how it is. And it's how we learn things. So a lot of things come into play. You know, ego comes into play. This willingness to back way up in your practice comes into play. But I'm barking to teach. So this is a particular situation. What I want you to do, and I'm going to shut up for a minute and I'm just going to let you do it. I want you to focus on the actions that I've been talking about, the turn of the arms, this desire to squeeze your elbows to straight has to subside, and drive that coiling, that work into your back so that you can experience the freedom in the chest and even in the brain. Okay, do that again. Do it on your own. I'll do here on the screen, so if you have any questions, but I'm going to just be quiet so that you can apply without feeling stressed. it is all discipline. It is all discipline, but it should be self-implied discipline, not from me. I'm just giving you the information. Go ahead. And then as you're ready, release. So all of those things apply. Again, I'm not asking you to lift your legs to straight. It will take you out of the work, particularly when those blocks are on tall. But we're going to flip them down to medium now. And so when they're at medium, then it gives the opportunity to pull the hips forward. And from there, yes, if you want to straighten the legs, you can. But keep in mind, the area, well, we're working both the tailbone and the upper back, but I want you to keep this area soft, this shoulder blade thick back rib area gripping, the frontal chest broad and lifting, and that all requires the outer arms to turn out. And here's the kicker, the inner hand to press down. That should sound really familiar with what I talk about in Tadasana an awful lot, okay? Last little bit here, last opportunity here with the bricks. You go ahead and do on your own so you don't hear any barking from outside. Coordinate from inside. Consider what I said earlier in class about the ear holes aligning with the shoulders. Good, everybody. And then take downward dog. And then once you do, stabilize the legs, all those things, but then walk your hands back to your feet and come on up. So, what I'm saying, it all gets back to that idea of learning, anything. You have to learn. You have to be with somebody who's capable to explain what's going on, what should happen, and blah, blah, blah. But application of what you've learned is really where the magic happens, because I don't want to say all teaching is dogmatic. It's not, but we as human beings, when we're told what to do, we get stressed out and we try and do more and do more and do better. And it causes a funny thing to happen inside. It causes a hardening. So, if something's difficult for you, if there's an asana or a part of the body that's your difficult part, you need to start to find out how to work with that part on a regular basis on your own, because that's how you'll start to figure it out, and that's how it'll start to evolve. So we're going to do shoulder stand, but we're going to start with Chaturpadasana with a chair. So that's going to address all of these things I'm talking about now, the turn of the arms, these thick back ribs and shoulder blades, and even the forearms. This whole business of the forearms facing the body as the upper arms turn out, while it's pretty elusive, it's incredibly magical. And it happens in a really subtle way in a whole lot of poses. So the way I'm going to ask you to set up today, I want you to use your chair. Go ahead and you'll just, I'm just going to fold my mat. I'm going to fold my mat in half twice. so that it's just a rectangle here on the floor, and I'll show you why I'm doing that, and it'll make more sense. We're going to get the regular 3 blankets for the shoulders. And you're going to get a bolster. We've done this before. Nothing new, but those of you with shoulder and front chest and issues in your upper body. And by the way, I'm in that camp. That area is my tough area. So I do this too quite a bit. But you're going to set up that way. You see how I've made the bolster long? That's for my buttock. The chair's for my hands. I think I'm in screen. Move it back this way a little so you can see a little better. So watch. I think you all kind of get where we're going here, but shoulders on, buttock on that bolster. I have the chair off of the mat so I can move it. So shoulders are on enough, but not too much. I get that chair moved so I can get my heels on, turn the upper arm bones out. So now, if we don't even worry about the legs yet, think of what my arms are doing. My upper arm bone is turning out, but my forearm faces the body. And then I use my hands to somewhat drive the front legs of the chair down. So that as I do that more and more and add in the legs, I'm on my outer shoulder blades. I'm not going to come down. I'm not on C7, which is the base of the neck. C7, when the arms work properly here and the legs work properly here, lifts. And that's what I want for you, because that's when the front chest can start to really open. So go ahead and get that set up. And then we'll move forward. This should be okay for everyone. Clifford, does this work okay for you, or does it cause you pain? Yeah, so. So what you might do, the thing I'd like for you is, so you should maybe try with your chair on a mat so it doesn't move, but with your hands holding a loop and a strap. In other words, I'd like to situate you in such a way that your hands are wider rather than holding where that chair is. It might be a little narrow for you because you also have a broad chest. So maybe try that way. Yeah. So what you would do is you would just put that strap around your wrist so your palms face you and press out. And that will help you get that turn of the upper arm. So now then everyone, heels on, lift your hips, turn that upper arm bone out and press. Actually turn your forearms and hands to face each other as if you're going to drive that chair leg down. Inner heels down so the tailbone is lifted. And now as the heels press down, press them away. As you press the hands down, feel how you can get those thick back ribs to come in, working with the shoulder blades. The sternum moving more and more towards your chest. C7 away from the ground. And then release and come down. Rest. One more time. Press the heels, come up. Make sure you're far enough back on your blankets that they don't hit your neck because you're just too far on the blankets. Right? As the upper arms turn out, the forearms should have a sense of facing each other. Work with the legs to coil those thick back ribs in. Relax the neck. The upper arms, where they touch your blankets, should flow away from you and towards the chair as the occipital ridge, the base of your skull, flows back in the direction that the head is pointing. Then Releasing him down. Roll to the side, come on. Turn your chair onto the other side of your blankets and set it up so you can use it for halasana. Turn your bolster the other way so it's wide. Clifford, did that help at all using the strap wide like that? Okay, good. So now as we do this next part, same thing for you. Don't come up so much into shoulder stance. So do this first part with me. And then if you want to do chair shoulder stand, or if you want to do Setu Bandha, you could do that also, okay? So, but if your arms and shoulders don't feel happy in the full shoulder stand, don't do it, okay? The rest of you, we're going to do Chatushpadasana again. That's what that just was, Chatushpadasana. But we're going to do it the more traditional way of holding your ankles. You can also put your hands under your heels. I'll show you. I should probably also do a series on that, and I will in time. But you're going to have a lift of your feet. Woo. So you hold your ankles and you put your feet on that bolster. The bolster is not on anything, so it can move away from you. Step your feet close, and then you'll lift and turn the upper arm bones out. Now, if that doesn't work for you, you can step on your hands like that, and the palms face the ceiling. So go on. If you can grab the ankles, I want you to. Press the inner heels down, lift up, and then apply all those things that you did before. Coil the thick back ribs and shoulder blades towards one another. Good. Then gently release and bring the hips down. Hands down on the bolster. Then lift the knees towards your chest, relax the abdomen. And with your exhale, kick the legs over for halasana. Bring the hands onto the back body. And then when you're ready, come on up. Shoulder stand, Salama Sarvangasana. Lift the buttock to the heels. Bring the big toe mounds together, big toes together. Now feel how there's a lot of similarities to Shalabhasana going on here. The buttock lifts to the hamstrings, and the hamstrings pull to the buttock to keep the tailbone in. The upper arm bones turn out, and you work with those thick back ribs and shoulder blades. Even though I know it's not a back bend at all. Turn both legs out so the heels touch each other. And take the legs wide like Upavishta. Roll the right buttock to the right heel, the left buttock bone to the left heel. And then press the mounds of the big toes away. Padmasana legs. Shoulder stand. Start with the feet a little apart to get the lift and bring the inner feet together. Again, turn the feet out, go wide. Push through the mounds of the foot. Padmasana. Shoulder stand. Walk the hands higher and higher up the back. Now keep the left leg where it is. And with your exhale, begin to lower the right leg towards the floor, or towards the chair in this case. Push the right buttock bone into the right heel and let the right toes touch the chair. Then when they do, lift the outer right groin towards your left foot And turn your left thigh from outside in. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Keep the right leg lifted. Lower the left leg. Slowly, steadily. Left buttock bone to left heel. Press the toes down to lift that outer left hip up. Turn the right leg from outside in. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Once again to the right. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Once again to the left. Eka Pada Salamba Sarvangasana. Turn the right leg in. Inhale, lift up. Then bend the knees so the feet reach towards the buttock and the thighs lift to the ceiling. The knees will separate, that's okay. Then exhale, bring the knees towards your chest. Allow the low back to round. Put your toes on the chair seat. Reach the arms overhead. And then you can bend the knees and let the top of the feet hook the front of the chair. You can even wrap the arms around the legs, that's fine. Keep the head even and pointing upward, don't look around. And then release and lower all the way back, down, feet on the floor. And then rock yourself back until the shoulders come down. And rest there for a little bit. If you'd like to cross the legs in swastikasana on top of your bolster, that's fine. It might feel nice. Change the crossing of the legs if they're crossed. Turn to your side, come on up. Open up the mat and prepare yourself for Shavasana. So once you lie on your back, before you completely drop in, take the arms out to the sides and do just a very soft, gentle Jatara Parivartanasana, meaning arms wide, and you just rock the knees from side to side. Apply all those actions as you understand them, of course. But observe how that can help you more and more release the lower back. So when you go to the sides, knees towards the elbow, and you turn the abdomen away. And once you've done that enough that the low back is relaxed and satisfactory, you lengthen the legs, arms by your sides. And begin to settle in for your Shavasana. Soften the skin across the scalp. Soften the skin across the face, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth, the jaw, the throat. Become aware of the back body against the earth. Become aware of that ability of the back body to spread wide against that stability beneath you. Notice the spaciousness that comes within with each exhalation. When the five senses and the mind are still, and reason itself rests in silence, then begins the path supreme. This calm steadiness of the senses is called yoga. Although Brahman is beyond thoughts and words, it can be felt by each one of us as our own being. It can be known in the silence of the soul. In the deep silence of the soul, one can be in union with oneself. And gently begin to bend the left leg, reach the right arm overhead, and turn yourself onto the right hand side. Use the left hand to press the floor away and gently come on back up. And that's all for this morning. Namaskar.